Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to some more Reddit. It is British Problems today and I'm joined by Phil and Connor, aren't I?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. There we are.
I believe we've done this a couple of times now, but we've never done one with Connor. And Connor suggests we'll have another little go at it. And it's always good, this one. We can see how we relate to it. And because all three of us are from the great lands of the Great British Isles.
Indeed. Now, the thing that I always find with this interesting British Problems one is that sometimes I sometimes wonder kind of what constitutes a specifically British problem. Because often when I read through this one, I find myself thinking, okay, these are problems, but can you call them specifically British? So I'm going to be silently judging some of these, ladies and gentlemen. You know, make sure your problems are sufficiently British or unique to the British Isles.
We need Britishness in them.
Yes, indeed. Right, so I'll read out the first one then. Festival goers thinking it acceptable to leave tents. You don't like that now, do you? Not that
I think if you click on it, it might give more information as well.
But,
I think that sometimes they do. I told you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's talking about the aftermath of the Leeds and Reading festivals. It's an absolute
Yeah,
disgrace.
but again, I can see with this as well. It might not be particularly for Britain because I know there's other festivals around the world. But still, it's disgraceful when people go to these music festivals and leave, equipment and rubbish behind and things like that.
Yeah,
Horrible, isn't it?
it is. You hear about Burning Man a few weeks ago over in Nevada, or wherever it was, and they got sort of all the people there kind of got trapped down on the plateau because it started raining and it flooded the area around them.
Oh my!
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Luckily, no one was hurt, but no, it's all over the news, in like festival news and all that. And it was like even weirder because apparently in that sort of dried up lake bed where it's held, there's like various types of extremophile organisms that have like laid eggs like freaking years ago in the sand, of which have been dormant and then all started waking up. It's like triops and stuff. It was really weird.
Oh, you don't want to wake them up. You don't want to wake them up.
Those tiny, evil little three-eyed things. There we go.
Yeah, we need to be a bit more prevalent with waste, don't we? Really, because we can't just be leaving shit all over the place. You know, if you got stuff, pack it away, or if you got things that need to be thrown in the bin, find the nearest bins. And at the bottom there, it says that charities do come in to salvage the equipment to try and use it, but it shouldn't be all this broken stuff, especially used batteries. What happens? With used batteries, especially they'll start fizzing when the acid leaks.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, less of a British problem, more of a global problem, I would say that is. People littering and all that, but yeah, not getting the sense of Britishness just yet, but
I've seen some real laziness with regards to some people like throw stuff on the ground and there's like a bin right there. Like, what are you doing?
Outrageous.
Indeed. All right, who wants to read the next one for us then? Phil,
I'll go for it.
Oh, Connor, no.
Phil?
Connor,
Yeah,
Connor.
no.
Too late. Connor's volunteered. You got to do it now. Hit.
Important laptop man on train dictating a PowerPoint to a colleague over the phone. Oh.
Okay. Sat near a guy for an hour who's been unstoppable. About 8 calls, each time starting hi. So and so here on slide number.
Oh God!
Sorry, I just accidentally flicked over to my Bandicam folder just then. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I'm back. I'm back here, ladies and gents. I might have to just do a bit of editing on the footage there, but never mind. Yeah, so we need more teasers. You're not being clear with the messaging. Those numbers need rounding to the nearest million. We need to take the client on a journey here. Can we make it clearer? That final one is definite, absolute corporate spiel, that is, isn't it?
It is, isn't it, when people do that? But the fact that he's doing it on a train with a colleague and everyone's doing it, it's not for. Why are you doing your work there?
Yeah. Again, don't feel like this is specifically a British thing. I feel like this is something you get in multiple countries.
The guy's on the journey and not the client.
Yeah, indeed. I was just going to say as well, actually, what would make this even more irritating is if he was in what was supposed to be like the quiet coach.
Oh,
train.
no.
Yep. That's
I have seen it. I've seen before. People do sometimes do work on the train as they're going to and from, but mostly it's just they've got the computer open and they've got their papers out. But also when you shouldn't be taking an entire table as well.
No, indeed.
Well, someone should have come on, sat down on the chairs, and if there was stuff on the table in front of them, just thrown it on the floor, gone, I'm using this, thank you.
Yep. As soon as he comes out with a line about taking the client on a journey, you should just look him in the eye and say, "I'll take you on a journey to the next carriage in a second if you don't shut up."
Yeah, should so do that.
Yes, indeed. It'll be worth it until the train conductor then comes along and throws you off the train and all that. But there you go. Indeed. Over to Phil.
The amount of racists you have to deal with in customer service.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you've got a non-British wife handles a lot of phone calls. Oh dear. No.
Amount of Douglas and straight-up racist abuse she receives is awful. Yeah. God, it's... You've worked, obviously, in a call centre before, Phil, and all the stories, you've told me.
Way back.
Yeah, even just as a, native white British person, makes me just think, thank God I've never worked in a call centre, and I never want to work in one.
It's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous when they... when they're shouting and screaming at you, and because the things are not working properly. But this is even worse. You shouldn't ever have to put up with racist abuse.
No.
Agreed.
Yep, indeed.
Why is this still a thing? Why is it still a thing in the 21st century that people are racist?
I know it's like a worldwide thing, but a lot of the UK is quite racist. So.
There certainly are a lot of people who haven't a clue what they're saying, and they don't stop to think and engage the brain.
Exactly.
Think, maybe I shouldn't say that.
We need to be all inclusive. That's the thing. Exclusivity is being inclusive is the way forward, and that's what we should be. As if they haven't had enough to put up with in the past.
Indeed. Yep. So there's something certainly isn't there about means of communication where you get that sense of anonymity, and some people just take that as carte blanche and just their behaviour completely changes. It's really quite something remarkable indeed.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yes.
Let everyone be how they want to be.
Unless they like pineapple on pizza.
How dare you? How dare you? Pineapple on pizza is great. I've seen one where someone had kiwi on pizza, and you're like thinking,
What?
You what?
Sorry, I'm just very triggered by the absolute pineapple on pizza slander, Connor. I'm gonna have to call you out on my Twitter page and get you cancelled and all that.
No, please,
Yes,
no.
indeed.
You mean your X page? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the X. No, it's Twitter. It's Twitter.
That's a different profile.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's for General Red After Dark. That one, Phil. There you go. That's all the stuff that you have to pay a premium subscription fee for. All right. Okay. We're sorry to announce your train has been cancelled. This is due to a short notice change to the timetable. So the train is cancelled because it's cancelled. The rail network is a joke. No, there's no further information. It's just...
Well, it is a non-reason, yeah. A short notice change to the timetable.
Well,
it's one like we have to think of an excuse, isn't it? Why it's cancelled.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that again is a problem, but still, I'm not getting that Britishness thing out of it. This just feels like the sort of problem that is had by people in all countries all over the world and all that.
Your train has been cancelled because there are leaves on the line.
Yeah, there's a bit more UK-esque, to put it that way. Indeed. Well, not much else really to say about that one, is there? There we go. Who was next?
Connor, I believe.
Connor, yeah.
Repeatedly getting called by O2, who are going to give my current phone deal a discount, in quotations.
Interesting.
Scam callers.
Yep.
Yep.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, whenever I get scam calls, I just hang up on them instantly. I don't even say anything.
Yeah, I do the same.
It's very, very. There's a lot of scams, unfortunately, in this world, and it's when they try to, when discounts try to come in like this, and they try to, especially there's one with like where they say, there's an issue with your computer, we need to log in and have a look at it. It's viruses all over the place. No, there isn't.
Indeed.
No. Yeah.
Now, the funniest one actually I had recently, and this wasn't a phone one, this was an attempted email scam that was sent to my work email. I got an email purporting to apparently be from the payroll department at my place of work. And I was like, oh, really? Payroll, you say? Interesting that the email address you're sending from is based in Japan, of all places. It was like a .co.jp email address. It was really weird. I was like, oh, yeah. Payroll in Japan, eh?
Did you not know? Did you not know that your university's payroll is situated in Japan? How did you not know that?
Well, it's not Japan. It's JP. It's Jobs Payroll.
Oh yes, of course it would be. Yes. There you go. Connor's fixed it for you. Well, you better answer them back then.
Oh man, yeah, I better definitely scan that QR code. Was on that email.
Send them the funny numbers on that card that you pay for things with.
Indeed, yeah, the special card that makes the happy times happen.
That's it.
Indeed. Over to you, Phil.
It's that time of year again. Parents with faces like slapped arses complaining about why the child has been sent home after not adhering to the school dress code.
But I've spent £100 on inappropriate footwear and little Chelsea wants to show her arse off in a miniskirt. Yep, you get parents like this pretty much in any educational establishment. Yes, my sister who works in high school has interesting stories aplenty about parents and teenage children.
Yeah, there's unfortunately dress code. I don't believe that we should really be having a dress code, because I know the place in like the US and places like that don't when they get in school they don't have a dress code. I don't feel the need that we need school uniform.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you can go in now, you go. That's fine. But obviously, you need to keep it at least reasonable. But the school uniform, because it's really expensive.
It is. Yeah, I sometimes think, if you're going to have a school uniform, at the very least make it something that's, interesting and not something absolutely boring. Because I've talked about this before in various videos about how my high school had the most blandest, boring school uniform possible. It was just like brown jumpers and just grey trousers. It was just like, utterly dour looking.
Similar to my school, but on top of the jumper, it was a blazer as well.
Ugh.
Yeah, well,
you weren't getting cold.
Like, I thought the thing is about, you want to have your own sort of individuality, but that's not going to happen if you're having to wear a school uniform. Yeah, they should really do away with it and allow people to wear their own clothes, but to be within reason, of course.
Yeah. There's going to be some slight dress codes in terms of what's appropriate in a school environment, but yeah, indeed. How is my childcare for one child £1,500 a month? Okay, rent went up £200, my insurance has doubled, we've done absolutely nothing or bank holiday weekend as we can't afford to. Okay.
Oh
so,
dear.
Yeah, indeed. Does make you sort of wonder, well, maybe they're using inflation as the reason, who knows?
£1,500 a month. That's incredible.
It is.
That's really a lot.
It's a hell of a lot of money to have to be paying out. Yeah, I mean, not much else I can say about that one, to be honest.
Yeah, and when landlords increase rent, it's never a nice thing, is it? As well, sometimes they do it just to be malicious. Sometimes they do it because they're having issues with their mortgages or things like that. But it's just so many costs, and obviously you've got to think of the increased cost when you do have a child.
Yeah. Indeed. Well, that was awful, wasn't it? Now we've got a proper specifically British one here by the looks of it. Who is it? Was it me to read this one? I've completely forgotten the order again.
My go, I think.
Oh, yours. Go ahead.
Dear Royal Mail, on no sodding planet is a jump from £1.15 to £1.55 for a second class large letter, even a remotely fair one, you absolute and unpasteurised bastards.
That is such a British insult, isn't it?
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, increasing prices. Ooh, everyone loves to do it, don't they? Everyone loves to just increase prices and increase and increase and increase. And now, obviously, this, like, I remember when letters used to be really small. Let's not forget the infamous Freddo bars.
Oh, yeah.
You can definitely tell this is a specifically British one with the use of sodding planet. Yep, indeed. There you go. That's our first proper, what I would call uniquely British one. There you are. Not just a general problem that is had probably the world over and all that. Indeed. Nice. Over to you, Phil.
So, bought a Monster Energy and the worker instantly pressed visibly over 25. I'm 17. It might be over for me.
Oh dear. Well, that's At least you look mature for your age, I guess, if maybe we're trying to see some silver lining to this.
Yeah, you can have that featured. Some people like to look older. Some people don't always like to feel like they look younger, don't they?
Do you want to know something interesting, though? Back when I used to work for Boots, years and years ago, when I was still living up north, one of the first things they made us do, one of the earliest things they made us do after we just got, myself and all like other people who were still new to their jobs at the company, they did obviously like our Think 25 training. You know obviously what that is. It's like training people to make sure they recognise if someone might be under 25 and therefore you might need to ask them for ID and all that for certain purchases. And what was kind of interesting is that so my line manager sat me down obviously in a room and she showed me like a piece of paper with pictures of people on them and said, okay, identify who among those pictures, who do you think is under 25? And basically, as I looked at it and I thought, okay, I think most of these are over 25, except for this one dude here who looks like he's under 18. It turned out I got it completely wrong. Everyone except the dude I picked was actually under 18. And my manager was sort of saying, it's interesting how a lot of the younger trainees and employees actually struggle with this. It's really kind of curious. I guess apparently young people have a struggle identifying how old people are. But then again, it might have just been the fact that she also showed me a bunch of images that were very grainy and pixelated.
That sounds like an on-purpose trap.
Yes, indeed.
Just isn't it like to try and grab you? But yeah. I wouldn't think that you'd be ID'd for. Well, I suppose Monster does have a lot of caffeine in it, doesn't it? And children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine because they're annoying enough as they are.
They are indeed. Bloody kids. Right. On that note, on to the next one then. Every fucking motorway closing at 9 p.m. Yeah, again, you can tell it's genuinely British by the use of the term motorway. There you go. We have a babysitter referred to travel in the evening, which will sleep most of the journey. Didn't realise until we started I need a map and compass to work out a long journey because half the motorways have closures from 9 or 10 p.m. and none of them show up on Google Maps or Waze in advance. Yeah,
they do a lot of that. Well, because that's the time when they need to do a lot of the works, don't they? And then they know that there's not going to be that many people on the motorway, so they so that's why they get them closed. I've seen loads of signs near me saying works, night closures, and everything like that.
Yeah. But I suppose really the key lesson from this is always have a road map in your pocket of your back seat. Don't just rely on the sat nav and all that. Sat nav's great, but it's good to have
A to Z if you remember them.
Oh yeah. Do people still remember what A to Z's were? Is that sorry, try that again. Do Gen Z know what an A to Z and a road atlas? Do they know what these things are?
Surely you could also look online as well before you set off where there's going to be closures, because like the Highways Agency have their own website that will show when the closures are happening.
Yeah, plan in advance, ladies and gents, especially if it's a long journey. So remember that. Connor, it's you, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Every delivered my HelloFresh to the wrong house with a photo for proof. They wouldn't even open the door when I went to claim it back. Oh man.
Oh, but it's got a full refund, so that's good. But this person actually went and stole their food as well. So they delivered to the wrong person, and the neighbour got it and then refused to give it them back.
Brutal.
Yeah, I took your every box. Take your HelloFresh box. Indeed.
If someone mistakenly delivered a takeaway to mine, though, I'm definitely eating it.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Oh well, that's my cooking for tea tonight sorted. Hey, thank you for that. Whoever sent that.
So basically, this is kind of like one of those sort of trolley problem questions where do you or don't you do this? And basically you just failed the ethics test, you two, by saying, you take someone else's food and all that.
Well, I didn't say anything of the sort.
You sounded like you agreed with it, though. You sound that tone of voice. I'm on to you.
Only if it's tasty food.
Yeah, it's very tasty. Like
that's an exception to the rule, I think.
Okay, yeah. If it's tasty food, it's anyone's game. Then that's the rule we're going with. Then I guess.
I must admit, when I first heard of HelloFresh, because I thought at first it was a bit scammy.
All right.
But it turns out it's actually pretty decent. My parents get it They get HelloFresh delivered to them,
Yeah.
and you just basically get the ingredients and a big and an instruction list, and it's really quite useful. It is really good.
This episode is sponsored by HelloFresh, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed.
Oh, you wish, eh?
Yeah. I was just remember a few months back, I used to get absolutely bombarded with HelloFresh adverts on YouTube, and it was always that like Australian girl, or if she was going, "Is HelloFresh worth the price?" Yeah, sure is. Just like sitting on the couch and was like, "I don't care if it's worth the price. I'm not interested. Bugger off." Yeah.
Apparently, you do get free gifts depending on how many times you use it as well. They do give you a free gift from time to time.
I see. Well, over to you, Phil.
My 5-year-old has started using slang over the holiday. Brah and literally are now in almost every sentence he says, and often the only words in his sentences.
Bruh. There we are. Still waiting for him to call me fam. And no, it's not too much YouTube or TikTok. It's from Sports Summer Camp. So he's picked it up from other kids who probably are watching TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah, that's where it's coming from. God, there's funny little slang, that, isn't it?
Yes.
And especially when people use literally figuratively. It's not literal.
No.
Oh my God, I'm literally dying right now. Are you? Oh shit! I better call an ambulance then.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I can imagine that's slightly painful when you have a small kid and they start suddenly using all this weird slang and all that, and you're sat there thinking, "Clue what you're on about, you little shit."
Yeah, stop talking like that.
Yes.
It's done too much influence as TikTok these days. Oh God, we sound like, back in my day, we didn't have this TikTok thing.
Back in my day, TikTok was a sound that clocks made. There we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Does Gen Z know what clocks are, or is it all now?
I know.
on the phone?
What's a clock?
Yeah.
And on the hour, a little cookie would come out.
God, you are ancient, aren't you, Phil? When a large dog is only playing. Okay, this is definitely not a British problem. This is a problem all over the world. On walk yesterday, and I saw a little kid playing near a mum. Out of the bushes runs a huge dog, one of the ones with a massive wide jaw. Run up to her, knock her over, and start to pull her clothes. Mum scrambled to pick her up with good old Rover snarling and jumping up on the mum's legs, snapping at the kid and scratching up at the mum's legs. Run up to try to help, but I'm just beaten by the owner, who gets there to yell at the mum to stop her child screaming and crying. It gets the dog angry, and it was only playing. Dog is oblivious to her, telling it a few times to stop before she pulls it away by the neck. What's weird, it's not even rare I see things like this. Is it just where I live? Wow. I mean, yeah. Some people have no clue how to control their dogs, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, I actually had a little incident with the dog. When I went skiing, near the hotel, there was a dog that always used to run around and play. And unfortunately, near where the stairs were, I tripped over and fell to the ground.
Yeah.
And at that point, this dog, which was playful, suddenly became really aggressive and kept running towards me, and it's like wouldn't leave me alone. I had to run into the hotel to escape from it. I don't know why it suddenly. I wonder if because of the fact I fell down, it saw me as gone into a vulnerable state and thought, right, I'm having you now.
Yeah.
Should look tasty.
What was a tasty pork chop? Yeah.
Indeed. But yeah, seriously, if you're a dog owner, just bear in mind, what may seem harmless to you won't necessarily to a stranger. Some people are just oblivious. They really are.
Yeah.
But
indeed, I'm
indeed,
afraid.
yeah, it's a shame really, because obviously, if you raise a dog well, it'll be perfectly well disciplined. But then you always get that one dog owner who just doesn't give a shit, and as a result, the dog just turns out very aggressive and snappy.
Yep, depends on the person and how they've trained them.
Yeah. Well, over to Connor again.
My local greasy spoon now no longer accepts card after the owner fell down an online rabbit hole.
Oh no. Apparently cards are designed to take away your freedom. Who knew? Unsourced memes did, so believe them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's just accepting cash.
Yeah. Do you know what I always find kind of ironic, though? The fact that, these are the sort of people who will always sit and say, oh no, I don't pay for anything with card because, the authorities, they can track all your purchases and all that. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, well, why are you posting about it online then?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anywhere that gives you a receipt will track it.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You see, you shouldn't be doing that.
They don't need your bank card to track you with the amount of times you use social media.
And hello, we've live in the 21st century and we've just had COVID, so more people will be using card than cash.
Yes, indeed. So, there you go. And Phil?
Restaurant tipping before the actual service.
Ooh. Took my daughter to a brand new cafe gelato in town after school. Young lady shows us a table in a completely empty restaurant. Order and pay at table 5 the app. After checking out the app asked if I'd like to leave a tip. Added 10%. Upon serving, both orders were incorrect. Again, completely empty restaurant. Orders taken away. 10 minutes later, nothing. Went up to the front desk to question. Was told they thought I had my order. 10 minutes later, new orders arrived. No apology. Just plonked on the table and waitress walked away. Definitely the last tip I'll be leaving before the event. Cheeky buggers.
Yeah, so they ask you to tip before.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, nope. Insist on tipping afterwards, folks.
Yeah, you don't tip.
You got to earn that tip.
Well, not if you're in America. You actually do have to tip, don't you?
You do.
because they don't pay their workers enough.
I know.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another sucky one. But again, I feel like that's not specifically a British one. I feel like that's probably a problem in other parts of the world as well.
Yeah, well, some tipping culture is really, but I believe in some cultures, like in Japan, it's actually rude to tip because they feel that if you tip, then you're basically saying, you haven't provided me with a good enough service, so here's just a little bit of extra money for you.
Yeah. Extra motivation or something. People moaning about having to pay by card. Is this similar to the one we just had? Drives me up the freaking wall, according to this person. If I have to deal with one more dickhead complaining about not being able to pay with cash as if it's my fault my employer doesn't accept sheets of paper and chunks of base metal as payment, I will not be responsible for my actions. I'm especially tired of the furious ham-faced muppets spewing out QAnon-adjacent nonsense about how it's all to do with tracking our payments. Now, one day the government will use your social credit score to freeze your bank card. I better get paid enough to survive, you arseholes. You get hazard pay for putting up with you. Fuck off and harass someone else. Got a bit angry there, sorry.
Wow.
Also, the mugs who think legal tender means it's illegal not to accept cash. One of these days I'll open my own shop and only accept fairy dust as payment, just to piss off you bellends.
Yeah, this is definitely a British person, that's for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
First I was thinking, yeah, it doesn't sound particularly British, it sounds more like a global problem, but then the insults started to make me think, nah, you got to read this in a British accent. There you go. I mean, I can understand that, yeah, it can be, you know, if you're the sort of person who still does use cash, it maybe can be a bit inconvenient if you go into somewhere and find they only accept card, but it's no biggie, to be honest.
There are some places that still do only accept cash.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's expensive to have a card reader machine. It's actually expensive, and it depends
Like a small fee per transaction or something,
it is,
I think.
yeah. So it depends how well a business does, I suppose.
Yeah.
If it's like a little small business, they probably feel that, nah, we're not going to have a card reader machine.
Yeah. I feel like if I was a small business owner, I probably would just accept both. Like, you know, I can understand why some businesses nowadays are only card only, but I don't know, I still think I would like to have facilities there for cash payment in case people need to use that option. But yes, increasingly these days people are using card and businesses are just, you know, adjusting to the market and all that.
That's what you get.
Indeed. Okay, I think we'll just have a couple more of them. So, Connor, I think this is yours.
Just had your mortgage will go up 100% in a few months letters.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Ooh, ouch.
Oh.
Oof. Yeah.
I wonder if are they on a variable tariff? Because if it's a variable, it can change like mostly all the time. However, if it's on a fixed, you can stay with that.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, that seems very unlike. 100% has to be variable, right?
Surely.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Well, that happened to me. I was on a variable tariff and it kept going up. And it's like, oh fuck this. So I went on and changed it to a fixed.
Yeah. Mine's on a fixed as well. It's just more
Same.
security and certainty.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, that sucks. Indeed.
25. He's like, so unless my work gives me 25% pay rise, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Basically. Or maybe it's time to already start thinking about remortgaging. Who knows?
Yes.
Get a new one. Final one, Phil.
Okay. According to all the back-to-school adverts I'm seeing, kids need a brand new phone, tablet, laptop, and smartwatch for their start of term. I always felt lucky if I had a new pencil case.
Wow.
It's all the latest things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those things because they don't even allow the like phones and tablets in class, do they?
No.
No. So.
Wouldn't have thought so, unless it's like a school-approved tablet or something. I don't know. I mean, I suppose maybe this is a symptom, obviously, of COVID, when everyone was having to learn from home and all that.
Yeah.
And needed access to technology. But
But I remember that when we used to go and get a new pencil case. Yeah, that was the day. Yeah, look at me, brand new pencil case. Get a load of pens and pencils and pop them in.
Yeah, make sure you got the right smell pens. The good flavours.
Oh, yeah.
do you remember when gel pens were all the rage?
Yeah.
Oh god, what year would
Those
that
were
have
the
been?
rage.
Or what years would that have been? Would it have been like early 2000s? Whenever it was.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it, like that? School always was full of weird, like, sort of crazies. I remember, like, Scoobies.
Scooby.
Yeah. Shag bands.
God. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Slap bracelets.
Oh boy, primary school Pokemon cards. And all that.
Yeah, there was lots of things, wasn't there? Oh,
There
Yu-Gi-Oh
were.
cards as well, probably, no doubt.
I don't really remember Yu-Gi-Oh cards all that much. I think kids in my primary school, yeah, it was very much Pokemon and all that. But yeah.
It was both, and then they went to like football cards.
Yes, indeed. Well, that was a round of British problems, with admittedly a load of problems that aren't really specifically British, but well, there you go. Yes. So thanks for joining me, you two.
Yippee!
Literally, bruh.
Oh, no.
Bruh.
No.
Bruh. We're
Bruh.
gonna bruh our way out of here, or out of this video. Come on, Phil, give us your best bruh.
Bruh.
Bruh. There we are. I probably do have
Bruh.
actually a sound clip on my computer somewhere that is just that. I'll have to see if I can insert that in a few places. Roundabout.
You literally do not.
Bruh.
I
I'm
think
literally out.
literally, bruh, I'm going to, because I'm going to make a note this time. Indeed. You say that I always forget to do these things, Phil, but I don't know. I mean, some of the more recent.
Well, yeah, since I gave you the push, yeah.
Yeah,
But
true.
I remember back in the day you would never used to. You'd be like, I'm going to add something here, and nothing was ever added.
Yeah. Well, you know, forgetfulness and all that. Alright, Facebook to the links down below, along with the link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. And if you enjoyed it, like as always, of course, always appreciate and all that jazz. But on that, it's the three of us signing off now. Farewell, everybody.
Bye.
You, here we go. Tortoise crunch, here we go. Helen. Yeah, right as well. Good.
Oh, wait, that's
There's a good
right,
one.
number two. Umbrella.
Yep. Jump on these things, I see. That door. Yep.
Okay, never mind.
That one. Oh, that's about time.
Oh, manage yourself.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Okay, that's it. Oh, now.
What?
Oh,
Oh, there we
nice.
go.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Now, both got for the same time, fortunately.
oh, yes, it's just me. Right.
Yes.
Perfect. That monkey doesn't seem to. Oh, he is.
Yeah.
It's just staying.